Welcome back everyone to Serene Gardens. This is episode 3 already, and today we are building a wooden GCI. And this is not your usual kind of update, because this is very much an under construction update, to be honest. There is one thing that is finished and that is absolutely new, which is this whole restaurant wine tasting thing, and the start of the Mediterranean gardens. So this is the Pizzeria di Pier Paolo, and we have, I'm not even gonna say that. Okay, let's try it. Degustazione di vini al piano superiore. Something like that. And yeah, this is basically a pizzeria with wine tasting upstairs. And I thought that we had this playground right here, so why not put a restaurant right there? And obviously Mediterranean, you think Italy, and when you think Italy, you obviously think of pastas, but also of pizzas. And so I was like, okay, let's do a beautiful pizzeria inspired by my cancelled park, Marvelous Realms. So if you go back to the workshop and download the old Marvelous Realms that I've uploaded about a year ago in on the workshop, you can see a lot of similarities between the build style of that building and this one. But this one is opened and overlooking the water, overlooking the Torre Gate over there in the distance. You can see I started planning a little bridge as well. We'll check that out in the next episode. Today we're building everything in the Mediterranean area, so this is going to be a really big episode as well. We have the pizza place with the Buon Appetito. This is basically the Bon Appetit of the Italian people. And a few tables for people to sit in. And then upstairs you have this wine tasting thing. The stairs are really cool because you have the shop that's right there, and the stairs are circling the shop. And I've added a bit of clutter, you know, barrels, because wine, and it's so cool with the music and everything. And look at this view. You can literally like sip some wine bottles, of course, even though those are juice boxes, but you know, it's make-believe. It's grape juice. You can give grape juice to the children, but we'll be sipping wine. And so you can sip grape juice with your friends and have a view of the entire park. And this is gonna be my main viewpoint of the entire park. So if you look at it from this angle, you can see everything that's completed already, and look at how good this view is. Like, even right now nothing is working. Nothing is working, everything is working, don't worry about that. But nothing is on. The coasters aren't running, the rides aren't running, and we still get this amazing, very impressive view, even with the city in the distance. I think it's exactly what I wanted it to look like, and I'm really, really happy of how it turned out. So it's also gonna look over, and this is a great transition actually, over the vineyards actually, of our wooden coaster. I'm going to talk about the name in a second, and also the more open section of the Japanese gardens over there. The Japanese gardens is a really exciting episode that I cannot wait for you guys to see. Let's go back downstairs. There we go. And so yeah, this is our wooden coaster Bacchus. So Bacchus is the Roman god of wine and parties and such, and it's essentially the Roman version of Dionysus. And I thought, you know what, it's a Mediterranean build, it's gardens even, and we will have a wine theme wooden coaster, so that's the idea. Right now the wooden coaster isn't running, and the layout, I would say, is complete, although I've brought in a special guest today that is going to be featured in episode 2. In episode 2, no, in update 2, sorry. And this is Mr. Antonio. I've wanted to work for a long time with Mr. Antonio, and this is the occasion. Like, I know he's really good at making GCIs. He has done a wonderful GCI in Parquet d'Ardes a while ago, a year and a half ago, I believe, at least at the time of recording this. And I was like, dude, you're one of my best friends in the Planet Coaster community. You have to come and do a custom supported GCI for me. And so this is probably going to be what the final layout will look like, but I've told him that if he wants to fix a few things in the layout, it's going to be okay with me. I also want to show you the trains, because the train colors are so great, even though we cannot really see it because of the... there we go. So yeah, wine-colored seats, gold for the gods, a little brown to echo the wood, and another purple to echo the wine. I think the trains look absolutely awesome. This is going to be our station, obviously. And you know what? Just because I'm not sure if Antonio is going to keep the layout as it currently is, I might show you a POV to end this update. So yeah, this is how this area is looking like right now, and I'm gonna show you the POV, and then we'll go straight to update 2 with Mr. Antonio as a guest. Welcome back, everyone, to the second update of this third episode, and for this second update, I have a very special guest with me. We have Mr. Antonio. Hello, Antonio.
Hello, Jan. I can't wait to see your reaction to what I've been up to in the past few weeks. I've been very busy. It took almost 2.5 or 3 weeks. But yeah.
Pretty much the same amount of time that I took doing the rest of the park.
Yeah.
That's what's funny, but you obviously don't have the same amount of time to work with as my unemployed ass. So that's all right. Let's get moving a little bit. Let's get cracking. I get to the station.
Ooh, I haven't touched the station.
I know, but I'm still excited. Okay, you've kept the sight line, so that's great.
Yes.
Oh shit! I'm gonna have to beep that. There's no way. So as you guys can see, Antonio has modified the layout a little bit. That's why I've put a POV of the previous iteration of the layout. I thought about it in advance, but that looks way better than I thought it would look. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, I changed the layout so we can have beautiful wood and beams everywhere.
Do you maybe want to talk about why you? Because obviously you've said that to me already a little bit, but why you changed the layout a little bit?
Yeah. So before, the layout had a straight or a twisted speed hill and another quick bunny hop, and then into the big turnaround, and then into the double up, double down. And at no point in the layout the track crossed it over itself. and usually GCIs do that. So I was yeah, that's the first thing I changed. I altered the layout so it goes over the track right after the drop with a sharp 90-degree turn into a turnaround, and then under the double up, double down element, and then into the turnaround. And after that, I left the layout as is because it's really, really good.
I mean, you left it as is, but you did this beautiful, beautiful support structure for the first drop, and you actually reprofiled the first drop as well, didn't you?
Yeah, and the lift as well.
This is so cool.
If you go to the station and they drop out of the station, I made it a bit longer and wider.
Right.
So at first the drop out of the station was a bit tight, so I lengthened it a bit, and the lift hill is now a bit steeper, so it goes more upwards. Because the drop, I pulled the drop towards the station a bit, so
okay.
It's slighted a bit, so the drop is more longer and the drop out of the station is longer, but the lift hill is shorter but steeper.
And you put a little bit of my my power boxes as well. Oh, you put lights as well. Hold on.
Yeah.
Oh, that is cool.
Just a tiny touch of realism.
Yeah, but that works so well, and since it's something that I like to focus on with that park, it's really welcome. And you said as well, like the little bit of foliage you did with the trees. If I wanted to get rid of them, like I could, but honestly, this looks so good. I'm probably gonna keep him. I just love everything that you've done, man.
Thanks. I'm really happy to hear that.
Something that is really great as well is that I was just saying that to you just before we got into the recording session, but I didn't realize that you put a little outer bank thing. That's so cool.
Yes.
But I was saying that this is around, we're recording this around Christmas time, and so that's kind of my Christmas present, but a little bit early. And I'm just so excited to get back into this park because I've been building other things that you guys will see in the future. But yeah, why don't we go for a little POV of Antonio's version? I'm not gonna lie, Antonio, I have the biggest smile on my face right now. Especially the changes that you did to the rod are just so good. You can almost feel our two different styles of coasters, like kind of merging into one, and it's so interesting. You have this really smooth part until the turnover, and then you have my more, I don't know, rough, because obviously your coasters to me are the smoothest on console. That's why I chose you. Yeah, I choose you, Pikachu. It's butter smooth. Like I've rarely seen a coaster that smooth, and the pacing as well is. How did you manage to get the pacing so right?
So first of all, thank you. But think on every platform there's a lot of talented creators that can do a lot of smooth coasters as well. But I think what I can do pretty well is the profiling on the different elements or twists and turns. I think that adds that extra portion of realism. So yeah, the smoothness is just a cherry on top of that.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
We love to see it.
And the pacing comes down to mainly to the height of the elements. So if you go through the layout and you can see each element is a tad bit lower than the previous one, and it goes down and down and down and even lower. And the lowest point is the turn after the tunnel.
Yes.
And then it rises a bit up, and then it's all downwards after that. So it keeps the pacing very high because the elements are so low to the ground.
The way you... So, sorry, I'm cutting you off a little bit. But the way you integrated the double up and the double down right after that with the tunnel is just like... That's blowing my mind. But sorry, just keep your train of thought. I'm so sorry.
No, it's fine. Because if you go under the huge lifter structure, it goes even further underground, or lower than the queue, definitely.
Exactly.
And at the last moment, it rises up to the brake run, and that's where it loses its speed. But until that, it's full steam ahead.
I just love it. It's perfect. Like I don't know what I was expecting, but that's even better than that. I knew it was gonna be good, but it's way better than anything that I could have ever dreamed of with that. By just giving you the project and saying, go crazy, do whatever you want, and it's even giving me more ideas. I mean, I'm definitely gonna use that plaza. That's a little bit of a teaser for the people watching the episode.
Yeah, thank you for saying that. I really hope you can use that trajectory and finish this thing in about 2 hours. So
probably,
how quickly you are.
I mean, I've got the ideas for, I don't know, maybe 3 weeks, something like that. So definitely, yeah. But that's gonna be it for update 2. Antonio, thank you so much for doing this project with me. It's such a pleasure, man.
Thank you for inviting me and trusting me with this project, and I hope everyone can enjoy this.
And welcome to the third and final update of this third episode. And with Antonio now gone, it was time for me to upgrade the scenery of the Mediterranean area. And you can see I have been busy. So the Mediterranean area is now complete, and so much has been added in a single update. It way too much, to be honest. So obviously we have the Pizzeria on the right, but now we have this sort of plaza with the playground and also the entrance to the flat, the exit of spinning squirrels, and the little pathway to the toilet that I've added here so that it doesn't block the view of the Woody too much. And so I decided to have a balloons ride that's called Da Vinci's Dream Flight. I don't know, it's an Italian themed area, so I was like, okay, who's Italian, who would use balloons? Probably Da Vinci. I don't know, maybe it's an invention by Da Vinci or something, and so I thought that was fitting. The queue line is pretty simple. This is so this one came after the one for Bacchus that you can see over there, but it's essentially the same idea with the cattle pen, but with a different design that the ones you've seen in the previous episodes. One thing that you might realize is that, okay, maybe not here, but some of the guests might clip through this wall, for example, right there, and that is a choice. I knew it was gonna happen, but that is a choice. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is, so I just wanted to point that out. But still, it looks really good, and you can see a little bit of the backstages here So I've added a little connection between spinning squirrels. So we have a little dirt path that goes from the transfer track, the backstages of spinning squirrels, and goes to this ladder that Antonio has left me in the last update that I didn't point out. And that is because with wooden coasters, obviously you have this type of wooden coaster at least, not RMC wooden coasters obviously, but the GCIs and I believe the gravity groups as well have those catwalks on either side, well, not either side, but for example only the left side, and that's one of the accesses to the catwalk, so that you can do the maintenance bit and more easily at least, and check if the ride is all right for the opening in the mornings, so such things like that. And Antonio has thought that out as well, because he has put those little planks that join both of the catwalk pieces when the banking changes. So you can see that there's no catwalk here, but right there is one, and then it changes from side to side. So he's thought about that on the entire layout. And yeah, this is our flat ride, really simple stuff. But I thought, you know what, instead of having, you know, food stalls and everything that would have blocked the view for Bacchus, and also because we have the Pizzeria just close by, I thought this was too redundant. So a flat ride was a better fit in my opinion, and I'm definitely happy with Da Vinci's Dream Flight. Moving on, we have Bacchus, so we'll go there in a second. But you can see the vineyards. So obviously with the Pizzeria, we have a wine tasting place right there. And I thought this would have been a locally grown wine. And here is our vineyard, the Bacchus wine or something, I don't know, something like that. The Serene Gardens vineyards or something. And, you know, since Serene Gardens obviously is, the main thing is obviously gardens. So whereas we had some more European, maybe even Dutch gardens in that area, that is a much calmer area. That's crazy. We're right above the lake, that's why. I thought that Mediterranean area gardens, would be more of those lavenders and roses for the flowers, but also the wine and the vineyards as well. And the floral creepers actually do make really good vineyards, because those flowers do look like grapes, so that was like a perfect fit for that purpose. I love it so much. And it also makes me, it's obviously totally inspired by Furious Bacchus at PortAventura. That was a really English way to say it. I'm so sorry for every Spanish people out there. But yeah, that's what it was. Well, the whole area was inspired from, and I'm just so happy. We have our wine tasting house that is our station over there. We'll be there in a second. We also have a Gelateria Di Maria right there. And yeah, it's a custom shop. It's a place to get gelato, because, you know, I love gelato actually. This is something that I really loved eating as a kid, especially because it's not real ice. Well, ice cream is ice, you know, it tastes like ice, but gelato is actually made with milk, and I just love gelato for that particular reason. It tastes so differently than other types of ice cream, and I love it. At first I had a churros place, but then I thought, you know what, this is kind of an Italian place, so, you know, let's just go full on Italian, and I needed my gelato, so there we go. And we have a little sitting space right there. I don't think people are really using them. No, I had the hope that those people were gonna use them, but nah, that's not gonna happen. And I put a viewpoint just so that they could interact there. They're not really using that path that much. This is kind of what I was afraid of when considering the plaza over there. That's why I didn't do it. And with such a small area, if they're not using it, I think that was the right call to put a flat right there instead of a plaza. And we have a return of another reused bottles machine. And finally, so we have another Torii gate that is going to be really useful in the next episode for the other entrance to the Japanese gardens. But we also have Momenti Divino. This is a play on words. If you know Italian a little bit, it's not really like Momenti Divino. It's not the correct grammar. I know this is not the correct spelling, but because Divino is so this would mean moments of wine, which doesn't make any sense at all, by the way. But Divino also means divine, and so I wanted to make the play on words because, you know, Divino of wine, divine is also a reference to Bacchus, and I thought that was a really nice little play on words in another language that I just do not know, but I was like, it's Latin language. That's how I knew how to find that subtlety. And obviously, you look divine, just like you look giddy in the other shop. It's basically the exact same interior, by the way. I just copied it over, and I love it. It's just so good. And then we have this. Whoop, that was a face. We have that really serene atmosphere of the Japanese gardens that we're going to explore in the next episodes. But yeah, this Mediterranean area is just so lovely. It's just so inspiring as well. Like it's so cozy. It's warm as well, and I'm making this during the winter, so it's really bringing like summer vibes to me, which I really need because it's so cold outside these days. I also added a little ice cream sign outside of the gelato shop, the gelateria, and lifelines every time we have the lake close by. But now for the moment we've all been waiting for the queue for Bacchus that is going inside the vineyards, in the middle of the vineyards, and then we have essentially what is a wine tasting place. So that's why we have like make-believe chairs and parasols. Is that what they are called? I know that's what they are called in French, but I'm not sure about the way they're called in English. But let's call them parasols for now. And then you have the similar cattle pen to what is in Da Vinci's Dreamflight down there. And it's also a really great view, by the way, because this place was thought about from day one. I wanted this slightly elevated queue that is technically really boring because it's a cattle pen, but I wanted to maximize the views of everything, especially the views of the wooden coaster. And you can see pretty much the entire layout of the wooden coaster from this angle, even all the way to the brake run. So that was a really important thing for me. And also the colors are really reminiscent of the wine, of course. It's like all those little subtleties that really make a park. And the lighting that we'll see at the end of this update. Then you go out again, under the lift hill. Something that's really interesting as well is that Antonio has used the support deleters 3000 or 2000. And they're basically Gerstlauer track that he's put right there to avoid the supports going like down here. And I think it's a really clever way to hide it behind those big girders. And also, I've added to that thing by doing this little canopy, this little roof. And I think that works a treat. Then we have our brake run. So the brake run, I don't think I showed it to you last update, but this is what the brake run looks like. And by the way, while we're talking about brake runs and everything and block sections, the pacing of that coaster is the best in the park so far. Obviously, it's been worked on by Antonio, and he's timed like perfectly. You could see that this train is leaving the station to go on the lift hill, while the other one is like hitting the brake run is so precise. It's amazing. And at first, the brake run was really bland. It was really naked. It only had those little mechanical thingies. Obviously nothing was themed before this update, and I decided to add this little shed thingy that leads to a backstage access. So far you can see that there is only that for the backstages. With my this is so quiet. This is so crazy. I'm sorry, I feel like I was screaming the whole time. But for the backstages, I really plan on having backstages everywhere behind the trees in the park. And it's gonna be behind the Japanese area, it's gonna be behind the GCI right there. And I'm maybe thinking of doing a backstage access right here as well, because otherwise there wouldn't be any backstage that sorry, my tongue did something weird again. There wouldn't be any backstage access to either Giddy Goats or Spinning Squirrels. So Spinning Squirrels, it's kind of alright because it's kind of a temporary coasters. Like, not really. Like, most Wild Mouse are temporary coasters, but this one is half temporary, half permanent, so it's kind of a little weird. But I still wanted this place to be a backstage access, especially if we want to have a garbage truck pick up things from the backstages, so we can have that in the next episode. Anyway, what has been done in this episode? That thing so far. It's not much, but it's honest work. And here it is, hitting the brake run again. Back to the queue line. And so here we are in the main building, this sort of villa where you can do some wine tasting, and that's essentially the theme of this ride. It's a big wine tasting place, it's vineyards, it's wine. This, like, it's essentially a theme that you will like if you like to get drunk. And I know a few people like a good glass of wine in the community, so I hope this will appeal to your senses. But anyway, what's interesting about this station, something that I didn't point out in the pizzeria, but you'll see something similar over there. Usually I try to hide little flags of the nationalities of each area. That's something I did in Marvelous Realms, at least. But for example, here we have the Italian flag hidden in the books, which is something that I really like. A lot of barrels stored here as well, a few tables so that people can enjoy some wine essentially. And we have a new version of my baggage holder, my bag. Hi. Come back. The bag hold and whatever. And I think it looks really nice. It's really well themed as well because of the barrels that are underneath and the boxes and everything. I think it really blends in really well with the theming. We have this little operator's booth as well that's really open, and especially because this coaster was inspired by Heidi the Ride at Blossom and the Pen. This is one we've ridden with Antonio like maybe a month and a half ago, and we really became well, I was already obsessed, but I brought Antonio into my obsession as well of Heidi the Ride, and so that's what this whole ride was inspired by. And like, obviously inspired, but not like outright copied. And really, like, I've already said that in the last update, but Antonio's work on this coaster is fantastic, and I hope I did it justice with that theming. But anyway, the moment you've all been waiting for, the final POV of Bacchus. I hope you guys will enjoy. And there we go, that was Bacchus, the wonderful GCI family wooden coaster by Mr. Antonio and myself, and I hope you guys like it because it's a special one, really. I've never seen something like that done before in Planet Coaster, and I'm really glad that we're the first, to be honest. Antonio's work on that was really great, especially leaving me really good opportunities to make the theming cool. So for example, we have some sort of a, I don't know if you've ever been on Woden or maybe you've seen a POV, but there is a sort of, I don't know, maybe a structure, maybe a decoration with wolves on top of the lift hill, and that's kind of what I did here, but with wine. And we also have a speaker right there for Bacchus's laugh, just because, just before we drop, and I don't know, it just does so much. Maybe we can hear it. Let's hear it. There it is, and drop. Also, while I'm looking at the layout, I forgot to point out this little camera again. That is obviously going to flash accordingly. There we are. And the night lighting, because obviously with that beautiful, beautiful support structure that Antonio has done, I had to make it beautiful in the nighttime, and I gave it this the same color that are on the seats of the trains, by the way. And this beautiful wine color that is just beautiful. Like, I'm so happy about this whole area. It's just so first time seeing the park at night, by the way. Yes, I did take into account the night lighting. Not on every coaster, only on this beautiful support structure by Antonio. But every single area is lit accordingly, don't you worry. Obviously, it's a Jan BK park. Come on, what did you expect? And yes, this is probably my favorite view of the park so far, and I can only imagine what is going to come next in the Japanese gardens. But I think it's time for me to end this really long episode 3 of Serene Gardens. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you in the next one.